Hello and welcome. You're watching My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. It was David Warner who won the toss, put Bangalore into bat. He would have not liked the first 10. Virat would have taken the first 10 with 86 for no loss. But Warner will grab the back 10 of how it played out, really with both hands and both legs like a bear on a tree. Why? Because Bangalore have ended with 163 for 5 at a time where it looked like they may get to 200. I was saying it might be 200, but that really tight 11 to 15 is when Hyderabad managed to pull it back. I've got Harsha Bhogle and Joy Bhattacharjya here with me. Harsha, Hyderabad Warner will be very happy with where Bangalore's ended up.
Yeah, but before that, what did he just say? That he'd be like a bear with both hands and feet on a tree.
You know, bears
is that what he said?
Grab a tree like that. Never seen a bear hugging a tree. It's a proper bear hug.
Yeah, but both hands and both legs. Anyway, I'm just assuming that's what Warner's going to look like when he comes out to bat. Both hands and both legs coming out to bat. But he'll be happy. He's going to take this. Because, as you said, we were together at the end of 10 overs. 200 was possible. But I must admit that I was wrong in that we still think like an IPL in India. And because we think like an IPL in India, we believe some things are possible. As you saw with the Kohli shot. That same ball in Bangalore comes on the bat, clears long on. Whereas here, didn't quite come on as well as it does in Bangalore, caught at long on. That's the difference between the IPL in India and here. So 162, but if you see that graphic, if you take out 11 to 15, look at the run rates on either side. One, a young kid making his debut, and the other is a chrome-plated cricketer who's never ever going to rust in AB de Villiers.
Yeah, especially
if I'm Devdutt Padikkal's father, if I'm Devdutt Padikkal's father, and I'm hearing a commentator mentioning the two in the same sentence, then my life is already made.
But if you look, Joy, I mean, you see sizes of boundary that we're talking about. AB de Villiers will hit a 6 no matter what ground you're playing on, no matter how big it is.
So basically, if you look at these grounds in these conditions, two things come to my mind. The first is very interesting. I mean, given the circumstances, the way this match is being set up, Aaron Finch's dismissal was huge. It was really huge. Because see, Padikkal and Finch have been told now, start hitting out. Because we've got 86 on the board, there are enough runs on the board, there's enough batsmen left, we've got lots of batsmen left, hit out. What they didn't calculate was, they knew Padikkal would hit out, somebody would get out trying a rash shot, they had to. But for Finch to go the very next ball meant that everything went down. And there's one other stat. It's not just about 3 innings. In 1 to 10, in overs 1 to 10, 5 of the overs were double-digit overs. That means they scored double digits. In overs 11 to 20, there was 1 double-digit over. With everything that AB de Villiers did, and he was doing it pretty much alone, there was 1 double-digit over, which was the 90. And that's a pretty telling stat.
Yeah, and at 163, Hyderabad is looking at it and saying, we've got Warner, we've got Bairstow. Warner historically does very well against Bangalore. I mean, Warner does well against most teams. He's got 44 half centuries in the IPL, the highest. He's got that record. But on the other side, if you were Bangalore captain, Harsha, you're looking at the 10 over mark, you're looking at the 20 over mark, and you're saying, where did we go wrong in the back 10?
I don't know if it actually went wrong because 160 is not that small a score. But I think after Kohli gets out, right? So what over does Kohli get out? Kohli gets out 15.5. So there's 4 overs left.
Yeah,
I can see why Shivam Dube has scored 7 of 7 because he's trying to put AB in strike every time. But from time to time, you need that person to score a boundary as well. When you get into the last 4 overs, you can't be scoring boundaries only from one end. But strangely, it was that partnership. Look, they put on 29 runs. AB and Virat put on 33 runs instead of 4.5, 5 overs. They had to go and finish it. That was what made the difference between 180 and 160. But it's still a very good score because these boundaries. It's going to test their bowling. But actually, look at the RCB bowling. I mean, it looks a little better actually than the SRH bowling. What I also liked was, don't forget the effect of Rashid Khan here.
Yeah.
Because they are not trying to, they're saying we won't give Rashid Khan wickets. So even though they got 30 runs off him, they were not taking chances off him. And in that period, they were just taking 1s and 2s. So that's what happens when you have a great player in your midst.
Yeah, and there you go. Obviously, they suffered that loss because Mitchell Marsh, they were expecting 4 overs from him. They only got 4 balls from him. And then Abhishek Sharma had to come in and bowl 2, and Vijay Shankar had to bowl 1.5 to pick up from where Mitchell Marsh would have bowled those. We're having a look at the Hyderabad. We're having a look at the Bangalore bowling now. If you just go there and see, do they have the bowling to defend this 163? And as you look down there, they obviously have got Dale Steyn. They've got Navdeep Saini, Umesh Yadav. So they've got the raw pace that they require, and they've got Shivam Dube who will bowl Washington Sundar, and of course Chahal's leg spin. So Joy, it's a nice variety kind of pace attack that they have, a nice variety bowling attack that they have.
I think they have a lovely bowling attack, and I have no problem with it. I think it's a better bowling attack in some senses than even SRH. There's one problem. They don't have too many bowlers used to finishing. So Chris Morris is normally their designated finisher. Umesh Yadav and Dale Steyn are both bowlers who've done very well up front. You can give them an over in the middle. Neither of them bowls a consistent Yorker. Neither of them really bowl the death. Both of them have been taken very often to the cleaners in the death. So maybe Navdeep Saini will definitely be bowling in the death on one side. The other side, they might even ask a Shivam Dube to dart in Yorkers or something. Or they'll hope that they've got too many wickets up front for these guys to mount attack in the end. Death bowling is a problem. Variety is not the problem. Death bowling is a problem.
So only 8 bowlers so far have made their first scalp Virat Kohli. And you got Natarajan there, young man, must be doing cartwheels right now. I hope he doesn't hurt his back. Must be doing cartwheels in the dressing room there, Harsha.
Completely. I mean, he'll go back and say in Tamil to all his friends. I mean, I don't speak Tamil, but he might go back and say, Virata, caught long gone. I say, no problem.
I'm surprised when you say you don't speak a language, because you seem to be like
Tamil. No, Tamil I don't get. But Joy, you are absolutely right there about, I didn't think we would see, if you had told me in 2016, 2017, a day would come and the RCB bowling attack would look better than the SRH bowling attack. And it's looking that way. Just let's keep an eye out on towels. Because Yuzvendra Chahal, when the ball is wet, is 1/10 the bowler that he is when he's gripping the ball. And when he's gripping the ball, I think with the big boundaries, he'll be a great force. And I mean, there's 4 very good overs there for RCB.
And just a word before we go on young Devdutt Padikkal, because we spoke about him during the com box. Harsha and me spoke about him. Joy, we want to get your praise, your prose, your poetry on the young lad.
I just said that, last year, a lot of people were seeing Shivam Dube and thinking that this is the start of, there's a bit of Yuvraj in what he was playing. And I said, maybe they should have waited for one more year to take a look at this young man, because there's a couple of times when he stood tall and he just delivered in the onside. And there were some shots which were just so elegant. It's not about the runs he scored. He scored runs. Many people have got good starts in the IPL, and good for them. It's the way he scored them. There is something special. And he may not be the star Yuvraj is, and that's too much pressure on a young man. But what a lovely innings.
Nice bat swing, yeah, Harsha. Nice bat swing.
And he's 6'3". He's even taller than he's taller than Yuvraj.
Yes.
But when you see this, you say isme kuch hai, as Joy said, isme kuch hai.
Yeah.
Whether isme kuch hai becomes wah wah ji huzur, that you have to wait and see, because that has nothing to do with talent. That has to do with how you see situations, how you play yourself, what your work ethic is, how you prepare. So that will now determine where Devdutt Padikkal goes. He scored all his runs and good wickets, remember. One of the advantages of growing up on good wickets is you learn to build an innings and you learn to play long enough. So he's done that in Bangalore, but there is something about him. And can you imagine, top 4, Devdutt Padikkal 19-20, he's going back to his father and saying, you know what, I was in that batting order, Finch, AB, Virat and me.
And
how cool is that? And a top score. Yeah, how cool is that? But yeah, there was some, I love that pickup shot that he played. And then he also hit over mid-off. And yeah, I mean, there was no express pace, but he seemed to have a lot of time to play his shots.
I think the one thing that we definitely need to do, and analysis aside and, insight aside, I think with our predictions, I think we have to sort of temper them down about 10, 15 runs for these bigger grounds, because we've just been continually getting them wrong here with our My 11 Circle badge of honor. Not going to anyone because I think our lowest prediction, lowest guess was Harsha with 171. With a 5-run buffer, I give him 166. Still not there. So I am going to now extend that badge of honor. Let's see if one of us can get it for the second innings with the power play score. Bairstow and Warner in the power play. I'm going with 47. You always say I don't say first.
Exactly.
So
I know, but I was thinking 47.
We can share badge of honor. Okay, 48.
Okay, I'm going 55. My sense is very simple. Two things. One is you're telling us this, you're just trying to cheat us, Gaurav, because I know exactly what you're trying to do. We are going to go and say that, okay, we're going to lowball it. Tomorrow, Sharjah balls will fly all over the bloody place, and then you'll turn around and say, got you guys.
Okay, so you are saying 55. We are at 47 and 48. Let's see whose it is. Well, if they do get to 45, they get to Joy's prediction, then you would back them. But again, like we have seen in the last 2 days, what you do in the power play, what you do in the top 10 is really no indication of how the back 10 is going to play out, how the back 5 are going to play out. So if the last 2 matches have taught us something, is don't take anything for granted and do not go to sleep till the last ball is bowled, because anything can
happen.
For Dew. And watch for Dew.
Watch for Dew.
Absolutely. We're going to be here at the end of the 10th Cricbuzz Combox. Yes, sorry. No, please.
Sorry. And if you have a dude presenting Cricbuzz live, then see what happens when your studio is at home. He keeps changing. You know, he's like those actors in the movies. They just come back next scene. Yeah, yes, अच्छा नहीं लगा, दूसरे कपड़े पहन के आ गया मैं. अच्छा, ये रो बता वो पीला शर्ट देना. अच्छा नहीं. What are you wearing next? I don't know.
I'm a chameleon. Sir, change is the only constant, is what you would think I would say to you at this point in time.
I'm making a bad joke. Sorry, warning. Go on.
No, your bad joke first and then my bad joke.
Your name is not Charles. Only Charles is a chameleon.
By the way, there's nobody here. I'm just signaling to my imaginary friends. I was going to say the reason I'm showing.
I wish you hadn't allowed me.
I'm so glad I did, because at least people can realize that the great Harsha Bhogle is also mortal. Right? He can also do things like this. Because I was going to end with that the reason why I made the change is because that's what Cricbuzz is paying me. Change.
Sorry.
Joy's like, get me out of here. Joy's like, please, मुझे माफ कर दो. मैंने क्या बिगाड़ा आप लोगों का? मुझे माफ कर दो, please, मुझे माफ कर दो. All right, so we're going to go now. Thank you so much for watching. My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. I think we all need just to eat some food. Maybe the oxygen's not going to our head. So we're going to do that and come back at the end, 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox. We wholeheartedly apologize for the last 60 seconds. Goodbye.